Good morning, fellow shippers. We're starting a little early, mainly because we got so much joy and promise to today. Uh-oh, I thought I had this fixed. I guess that proves my theory wrong. It seems like it should go right. It clicks in place. Okay, we'll try that again. And we have the children back today, too, so this is a special Sunday. August 31, last day of the month, and I'm here to remind you that you are a magnificent, unique, and radiant aspect of the divine. And here at Fellowship of Spirit, our mission is to positively affect the world by extending peace, love, spirituality, understanding, and fellowship to all people with grace and gratitude. Our vision is to be a spiritual center of awakening the I Am Christ consciousness. So that's where we're headed, and we're glad to take you all along. Membership is open to anyone, so please join us. Here's a couple of understandings that we have. We acknowledge an unconditionally loving God. We understand that peace begins within and radiates out to others. We are eternal spiritual beings having a temporary human experience. So with that, we have Margaret Cheesebro here today doing our music. And she's going to start out with a prelude called Shout to the Lord. Lovely, Margaret. Very well done. And I like that song. Let me see. Guess it's not in our hymn book. Oh, okay. So it has lyrics to it too, right? So it's something we could all sing along to someday, maybe. A wonderful song. Okay. Well, like I say, we have our children today. We also we're going to have Margaret continue with the music, and next Sunday will be Potluck Sunday. We missed it by one day this Sunday, so it'll be next Sunday. Here at the fellowship, we have classes and groups that we conduct weekly. Just a little while ago, we had our book study, which goes from 8:45 to 9:45 via Zoom. We're finishing up Qigong for beginners, and we're looking at starting a new book. Our youth group, of course, is happening right now, and they will come out here and tell us what they did today. On Wednesday, we have a Course in Miracles, or Thursday, pardon me. No, Course in Miracles will be tomorrow morning, at 6:30 a.m. And that's facilitated by Susan Barnes. Power of Eight will be Thursdays, and that's coordinated by Margaret Cheeseborough via Zoom. And this is what we do. So the Sunday service isn't the only thing we do, and we have one packed here. Today we have Don Cummins, who is going to give the talk. It's called The Divine GPS, which I'm fascinated with GPS because whenever I have GPS, I don't get lost. Unless Google is wrong, and Google has been wrong and dumped me in the wrong place before, but most of the time, but I've gotten lazy with it. So Don's going to shake us up a little bit on that. Okay. And Susan Barnes has agreed to give us our opening prayer. So I turn it over to you, Susan.
Thank you, Steve. I am so blessed that, no, not GPS, but Zoom has made it possible to enjoy your company, to feel all of the positive energy that you have, to experience so many speakers and so many people who give us the music. And so I would like everyone to take a deep breath, close your eyes, and feel that energy coming in through the crown chakra. Creator, Mother, Father, God, today, as is every day, is so special because we can be with one another, we can share each other's joy, we can share the sorrows, and know that the sorrows will lead to a joy. Just as every obstacle that comes our way is really a pathway to an inner light enlightenment, to a greater spirituality, to know that all things are in divine order and that all things are a gift from you, so that we can once more feel our oneness, to know our part with you in making this a better world and to fill it with light. And so we give thanks this morning for this day, for all that it brings, for all the music that fills our hearts, for each person that we can hold their hand, that we can hug them, knowing that 8 hugs a day helps to keep us healthy. And so we give thanks for our good health, both physically, mentally, and spiritually, and know that this physical life is a pathway to greater spiritual awareness. So for all things, we do give thanks. And so it is. Namaste.
Namaste. So it is. Thank you, Susan. Very nice. Okay, well, our next thing is we're going to do a song, and it's number 21 in your Wings of Song hymn book. And we all love to sing along because it gets our juices flowing. And so, Margaret, go ahead and take it away. Uh-oh. We can pause for that. Not a problem.
Okay, here we go.
Margaret's ready.
There's peace in my soul today. It is glorious and bright, ever glowing with a warming ray. For Jesus is my light. Oh, there's sunshine, blessed sunshine, as the peaceful, happy moments roll. For I behold the Christ in every face. There is sunshine in my soul. There is springtime in my soul today. I know the Lord is near. The notes of peace sing in my heart. The joys of grace appear. Oh, there's sunshine, blessed sunshine, as the peaceful, happy moments roll. For I behold the Christ in every face, and there's sunshine in my soul. There is gladness in my soul today, and hope and love and praise, for blessings which He gives me now are brightening up my days. Oh, there's sunshine, blessed sunshine, as the peaceful, happy moments roll. For I behold the Christ in every face. There is sunshine in my soul.
Thank you, Margaret. Very good. Thank you all for joining, singing along. Adds to the spirit of the place. Okay, now we have our reflection moment, which join me as we dedicate this moment. You're close enough. Love produces a flow of energy that I now feel. I love others more than ever, and I feel privileged to be here. Love flows from one person to another as we create an atmosphere of holiness, and so it is. And that was written by Midge Jones, a one-time roommate of mine, who was lovely to have in my life. And I'm going to ask Kate to come up here right now because we're going to try something a little bit new here, unexpected. We have in our bulletin here to tone the names of people that we're thinking about and trying to spiritually affect. And those include George Harris, who is down at Veterans Home in Albuquerque and having kind of a rough time of it right now. Ron Holloway, who is on his road to healing so that he can join us again. I saw Ron last week, and he seems to be happy and making progress. And then Margot, our lovely Margot Bryson, who has lost John, but is adapting wonderfully down at her group home. She's like the flower of the place. So what I'd like to do is something that Kate and I have been practicing for some time, and it's called Hue. And a lot of people are familiar with Well, just kind of think of hue as the same thing. And what hue is, it's a song to God. And it's a single syllable song to God. So we'll just kind of all chant into this hue, and we'll keep it going for about a minute. Okay? And this is dedicated to these three people. And of course, all the people that Margaret takes care of during Thursday night with
Power of 8.
Power of 8. Okay, so here we go on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Ah, thank you.
May the blessings be.
May the blessings be, yes. Okay, so next we're going to have, we were going to have a meditation by Brianna Cummins, but she couldn't make it today, so Kate is going to do a spiritual reading for us.
Here in spirit. Good morning, everyone. Today I'm reading from the Science of Mind magazine for August 31st, and the title is Forgive Yourself. Choose every day to forgive yourself. You are human, flawed, and most of all, worthy of love. That is from Allison Malie. Nothing is real to us unless we make it real. Nothing can touch us unless we let it touch us. Refuse to have the feelings hurt. Thank you, babe. Refuse to receive anyone's condemnation. In the independence of your own mentality, believe and feel that you are wonderful. This is not conceit. It is the truth. Ernest Holmes, The Science of Mind. Often people confess to me that the most difficult person to forgive is themselves. I completely understand that sentiment. I invite us to consider the impact that not forgiving ourselves has on our ability to experience self-love. From an energetic standpoint, our lack of self-forgiveness means we are less present in the moment. Being stuck energetically in the past leaves us feeling weak and powerless. It is as if a part of us is back in the moment of our transgression. Our awareness of who we are and what is possible for us is impacted by our continued sense of our identity as a person who did something so wrong that we cannot let it go. From a standpoint of creating our life in each moment, our perception of ourselves and lack of forgiveness has us living in a perception of ourselves as flawed, wrong, and not good enough to love because of our mistakes. This perception is part of the energy of what we attract to us. It will attract more of the same energy to us, and we may even repeat the error we cannot forgive ourselves for. All of this creates an I am not worthy energy that broadcasts out, and life responds in kind. The most impactful and effective forgiveness is an energy that can be completely accountable for what we feel we did wrong. We still choose to see it and learn from it. Yet we also extend grace to ourselves and choose to love ourselves. We choose to forgive ourselves. And here's an affirmation to take with you today. I choose to forgive myself while being accountable for all of my actions and choices. Have a great Sunday.
Okay. Okay, now we have a song that's from our binder, which is in alphabetical order. It's called Down in My Soul. I think it's one of my favorites. So.
I hear the music down in my soul. I hear the music down in my soul. I hear the music down in my soul. And the whole wide world is my home. And the whole wide world is my home. I got a new day down in my soul. I got a new day down in my soul. I got a new day down in my soul. And the whole wide world is my home. And the whole wide world is my home. I love the silence down in my soul. I love the silence down in my soul. I love the silence down in my soul. And the whole wide world is my home. And the whole wide world is my home. I feel the power down in my soul. I feel the power down in my soul. I feel the power down in my soul. And the whole wide world is my home. And the whole wide world is my home.
Thank you, Margaret. Okay, now it is my indeed pleasure to introduce Don Cummins, who is going to do a talk called The Divine GPS. But first, a little bit about Don. Don is a transformational coach and speaker, and the author of The Prison Within, a memoir of breaking free, which is available on Amazon. And Change Your Identity, Change Your Life, The Path to True Happiness, Success, and Abundance, which is also available there. In 2011, while homeless, addicted, alone, and carrying the weight of having served over 20 years in prison for bank robberies, Don had a spiritual awakening that was the beginning of a miraculous life transformation. In the 13 years that followed, Don became a husband and father, corporate software IT director, author, inspirational speaker, and mentor and coach. Today, Don's passion is helping others to see what he saw that day in 2011. Don lives in Durango, Colorado with his wife, Brianna, and his boys, Levi and Finn. And I might mention that Don is going to put on a show in January at the Toda Theater, and it's going to include a lot of people and basically be furthering his cause of 180 is, what do you call it? Project 180, which is a transformational project. So without further ado, I bring Dawn forward here. So let me get my stuff off of the, and here's this.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm very happy to be here with everybody and to see everybody again. It's good to be here in your presence. And you may have heard me talking in the past at some point, maybe once or twice or maybe more, about how much I love mountain biking. I do, and I absolutely love mountain biking, and it's almost like a spiritual discipline or a spiritual path to me. Because when I go out on the trail, it's very quiet out there, and I'm in nature, and I feel connected, and I see animals, and not too many other people. I run across one now and then, and it involves a struggle uphill, sometimes thousands of feet. I have to navigate going through switchbacks, and I'll finally reach the peak or the height where I see a beautiful view, and an amazing, gorgeous view of the La Plata Mountains or elsewhere. And then comes a downhill, to get back where I started, which is thrilling, and it reminds me to trust, and to also have a little self-discipline to not go too fast and to not take unnecessary chances. And so recently, I went on a mountain bike expedition to Missionary Ridge in Durango. And as I set out, I had almost 3,000 feet to ascend till I got to the ridge and saw this view of all the La Platas. And after I got about 1,000 feet, I came to a fork in the road, in the trail. And so I pulled out my phone and I pulled up my trail app and I zoomed in and I saw exactly where I was and I saw the trail. But the map did not show a fork in the trail. And so I looked at it, and I looked at the direction of the trail, and I looked ahead, and I looked at where the trail seemed to be going. One went this way, and one I couldn't really tell, But it seemed like the GPS was leading me to go left. And it made sense. After all, it was a GPS app, and you can trust GPS apps, right? And it had the entire map laid out. But my gut was telling me to go to the right. I don't know why. Somewhere deep within, it said, "Don, just go to the right. That's going to get you where you need to go." But I took the left because I thought that was the right thing to do, and that's what the map seemed to indicate. So after I got about a mile into that, and I was going down and I was going away from the direction I knew that the ridge was, and so I turned around and I pedaled back, and I went to the right instead this time. And I ascended, and I found my way to the ridge, and it was an amazing view, and it was also a lesson as well. Looking at life is very much like that incident right there. We have forks in the roads, we have struggles going up, we have beautiful views in our life when we look back and we see things from a different perspective. And we are so blessed to have a divine GPS that's within us that can give us direction to make that left or to make that right, or it may tell us just to go, and I got you. Don't worry about it. If I was to go to someone on the street, a random person on the street, and I said, "Did you know that you have something within you, a connection that can guide you on your path, that can let you know to make that left or to make that right, that can help you with the big decisions in your life and get clarity on what you need to do," they would probably think I was off my rocker for the most part. But for us to have that knowledge that we have that resource available to us, that through our connection to Spirit, we can get direction and guidance in our life, we are infinitely blessed. And so we should take advantage of that, and we need that divine GPS, and for several reasons. For one, life is just so busy, There's a lot of voices, there's a lot of messaging, whether it's advertisements, maybe we're scrolling on social media. There's a lot of shoulds. You need to do this, you need to do that. There's the programming that we've received by virtue of this human experience. There's a template or a blueprint that we might feel that we have to follow because that's just the way things have always been. And then there's the spiritual books and the spiritual how-tos, you know. And while we want to remain teachable, there's also something to be said for hearing it straight from the horse's mouth. You know, when we have that way to communicate with God and to hear from God, there's something to be said for knowing that we are on the path that we should be and that we're moving in the direction that we know Spirit wants us to move in. You know, we benefit by using our divine GPS because it always works. You know, I don't know how many of y'all have looked at Google and you're following it and you get off track, and it'll adjust for that and tell you where to go, how to get back on track. And our divine GPS is a lot like that. You know, when I made that left, I eventually got back on track. And so it's good knowing that when we step out in faith or belief, because we believe that we've received guidance from Spirit, that even if we read it wrong or we didn't get it right, that we're going to be okay. You know, it will always lead us back to where we need to be. Another great, you know, thing about following our divine GPS is that when we're on our path and it leads us where we need to be, we have some awesome, amazing views. You know, and it might not just be of the La Plata Mountains, but it's the viewpoint that we look back or in real time and we we were guided to say something to somebody, to give somebody a word of encouragement that we normally wouldn't. Maybe there's fear that prevents us from saying, hey, are you really okay? When they say, hey, how's it going? I'm okay, you're okay. And we sense that there might be something else there. And when we listen to that voice, we might take a moment to really touch base and get a sense of how someone's doing. And maybe sometimes the best thing to do is to be quiet, you know? But when we learn to listen, we can be on target more and help other people. And that's really what it's all about, is service. I wanted to talk a little bit about ways that have helped me and many others to tune into that divine GPS. And the first thing is our daily practice. Whatever our daily practice looks like, whether we're practicing yoga, qigong, or whether we are, you know, just meditating or doing mindfulness, we need to ask for direction. You know, asking for direction is really critical because many of us, and myself included, when we approach our mindfulness or our daily practice or our visualizing, we're thinking about how we want our life to turn out. We want to receive something, we want to manifest something, we want to attract something. But we also need to ask for God's input on this process as well. And we need to find out what is right for us sometimes. And by asking for direction, we can get that. You know, this path that we're on is unfolding, and sometimes being flexible and being able to change course because we know that we are receiving guidance from Spirit is critical to having a successful journey and getting to that great view. You know, so there's that, and there's, when we do ask for direction, we need to believe and expect that there's going to be a response. To have faith that we will receive direction. Maybe we ask direction in general. God, guide me today as I go throughout my routine. Or maybe it's about a specific situation. I really don't know how to handle this situation with this person at work or in my life, and it's difficult. And I don't know if I should say something or let it ride, or what action I should take about this specific situation. Whatever it is, we should expect to hear a response from God. And when we do, we will know that in that quiet, silent place within us that just knows that we know that we know. And when we put that intention out there, that is very powerful. And it might not be in 5 minutes. It might be in a half an hour. It might be in a day. It might be months, depending on the situation. And sometimes, as I mentioned, sometimes we'll just have a knowingness that we just need to act and that we trust the result and put that in God's hands. One thing that we can do is throughout our day and putting an intention when we do our practice is to cultivate curiosity in our real-time interactions during our day. So many times I know that myself and others, we go through our routine and it's almost like we're on autopilot. We go through situations and we respond the way we've been programmed to respond. But when we get curious and we say, well, what promise does this situation hold for me? And what ways can spirit be reflected in the response that I give or the action that I take? And how does this align with my mission as I understand it right now with spirit and my guidance in my life? And when we get curious about that and we look for ways to serve God in our daily routine and whatever we're doing, then we're able to make more decisions that are aligned with our path that will get us where we want to be and also where God wants us to be. And then when we know in that quiet place within us what direction that we have, we need to take action. Even if it's uncomfortable and even if it doesn't feel good, when we know that we know that we know that I need to do X, Y, Z because that's what I know in my heart and that's what God has put on my heart, then we need to take action and do it. I'll share something with you. I spoke before about coming from Florida in an RV with my family, and we landed in Durango, and here we are. There's a little bit of a backstory to that in terms of my own acceptance of this is what we need to do. And before I got clean, I had totaled probably 3 or 4 cars, And then after I got clean, I totaled 3 cars. Okay, and so my driving record wasn't that great. Now, I'm grateful no one was ever hurt. But the reasons why I totaled cars after I got clean and before clean were 2 different whole scenarios. I just wasn't that mindful. I had a straying mind, and I didn't notice that the person in front of me had stopped sometimes, or I was just carried away thinking. And mindfulness took care of a lot of that for me, and my driving improved, But when my boys were 3 and 5 years old, I was taking them to a birthday party. And we were driving a Suburban, and I made a left. I had the green light to make the left, and the person who was coming this way blew right through their stop light and T-boned us, and it was traumatic. My boys were okay, and the other people, they were okay, but we did have to go to the hospital, and my youngest got a bump on his head, and he was afraid, and they were afraid every time we got in a vehicle after that. And I was so, even though I knew it wasn't my fault, I blamed myself. I said, you've had way too many accidents. Somehow you should have known that that person wasn't going to stop at that stoplight. You should have looked closer. You should have judged how fast they were going. All the should-haves about why I should have avoided this situation. And I swore that I was never going to drive again. It impacted me so much, seeing my boys at the hospital. And I got a little perspective from that, and I did wind up driving again, but I was so afraid. Every stoplight I got to, I wouldn't just look both ways. I would look both ways 5 or 6 times before I made a left or a right or I did anything. And so I carried that with me for a while. And when we brought up the idea of getting an RV, getting a truck and pulling it, and I had never pulled anything, I never had a truck, I didn't know how to back up. Everything I had learned about life in the real world was after I got out of prison, and I just didn't have a lot of skills, and everything I had to learn from scratch, But it became apparent after a while that I felt like I knew that this is something that we needed to do, that we needed to pack it up, that we needed to go on this adventure, that it was related to serving other people. And so despite my fears and my discomfort and my insecurity, we made that move, and everybody's still alive. And we had one heck of a journey, and we landed here in the Four Corners area. And I learned some things about myself and this path, and about trusting that I could have never experienced or learned through a book or through a video or through all of that. That has helped me be more bold and helped me take risks, appropriate risks. And I was able to protect my family and keep them safe the whole time, which was my biggest concern. And I learned that I could do that. And the same thing goes for our decisions to act and to follow our path. We were talking about being fearful before the meeting in the book reading. We are programmed through the news and through media to approach life with a fearful posture in our attitudes, and to doubt what our bodies are telling us, to what our spirit is telling us, to trust people who don't know us in our situation. When we know that we know that we know, we are in the best position, more so than anybody, to make a decision that's good for us, that's good for our path, that can serve other people, because we each have a unique path on this journey. And although we have many common landmarks that we talk about, our individual path is unique to us. And the only way that we're going to fully explore that and fully live that is by doing that and getting the guidance that we can only get directly from Spirit. And so that is my message today. And I want to commit and recommit with all of us here to asking for direction, to believing and expecting a response from Spirit, and to cultivating curiosity in our daily lives and looking for opportunities to live that out, and for having the courage and exercising the courage to go ahead and take action when we know that we know that we know. And so I'm really grateful to share that with all of y'all today, and thank you.
Thank you.
You got it. Thank you. Again, thank you, Don. It was inspiring and kind of fits with everything we've been talking about here, the book reading and things that we're all going through in our lives, especially here in the Fellowship of Spirit. It seems like we're in practice for bigger and better things that are coming along, and believing that we know that we know that we know somewhere deep down inside of us, and asking Spirit to help us realize that, I think, is going to be key to our future. And I want to invite everybody. We'll be announcing more about Don's venue, and it's going to be at the Tota Theater, downtown Farmington. Do you remember the date?
It's January 15th.
January 15th. So at that point, we'll have hopefully a good crowd for you. Okay, so we have song Margaret's going to do from our Wings of Song, number 111. Which is Living Abundantly. Okay, Margaret.
Living abundantly, living with power, living the truth every day, every hour. Listening to Spirit, my way is revealed. One
approve.
moment, please.
Water break.
Proving the law as I do God's good will, proving the promise that faith can fulfill, praying for wisdom in all that I do. Moment by moment, I'm one, Lord, with you. Moment by moment, I live in God's light. Moment by moment, I'm guided aright. Ever renewed in mind, body, and soul. Moment by moment, oh Lord, I am whole.
All right. Thank you, Margaret. And I got to remind everybody all that Margaret does for us, besides Power of Eight and providing our music a lot of times. She also does the bulletin for us and keeps us updated on that. So very vital to our fellowship here. Thank you, Margaret.
You're welcome.
And so now we have our celebration of abundance. We have our usherette here, Kate, who's going to take care of that. And what we like to do is to take our offering, hold it over our heart, contemplate it, and then say, divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Through infinity, I am prosperous. Here. All right. And we are prosperous. Oh, and here comes the kids. All right, the lovely ladies. Yes. And Rhonda has brought the children forward. And what are we doing today, Rhonda?
The girls are showing you the project they're working on, and Stephanie has a read.
Okay. They're going to show us a project, and Stephanie has a what?
A reading.
A ring, okay. It's something to read. Okay, and look at that hat there. I love that beret. If that's what it is, yeah, let's get this. Check the switch on it. Yeah, it's on. Come on up, ladies. We should probably bend it down or lower it or something. A little bit.
Make it fit for you, Steph, since you're reading. Just say what we're doing.
Today, a lot of us finished up our butterflies, but like some of us didn't.
All right. Yeah, we've been seeing those progress.
Where is it?
And today, I'm going to be reading out of Mountains, Meadows, and Moonbeams. Whoa. Oh, that's the message.
Okay.
1 second. Hey, I'm alive. Deep in a forest glen around the lion's den, beside the dancing stream, we're part of nature's scheme. I'm a plant, a flower, a weed, and for our feelings we plead. Just for you, we thrive and say, hey, I'm alive. We can sense your feelings and vibrations you're sending. We grow better when you're happy. It makes us feel so snappy. Notice, feel, and love us, and over us make a fuss. We love to hear you laugh. Please do on our behalf. We have feelings and moods, so please do not be rude. Just for you, we thrive and say, hey, I'm alive. Message. All things have energy. The energy sends out vibrations in the form of an aura. We know that plants and flowers are growing and living things. They have energy auras that can respond to our own aura vibrations. If we are sad a lot, our plants will feel this sadness too. They won't grow well because of the sad vibrations they feel from us. We must always remember that all living things are a part of God's plan for people to live a happy life on earth. We should send good feelings and happy thoughts to all growing things. God loves us very much and wants us all vibrations on the world to be good and happy ones. Just think how empty our land would be if all we had was bare dirt. Take the time from your play to look at the beautiful flowers and plants, and thank God for putting them here for you to smell, touch, and admire.
Ah, yes. Behold the flowers. Thank you, ladies.
Did you make a butterfly?
Yeah.
Paint that? Oh, it's cute.
The one that she painted is still very, very flat.
Okay, any other announcements from the congregation? Well, it's been my pleasure to host today, and I bring Bill Clark to do our final thoughts. Oh, yes. Excuse me.
Good morning, everyone. Ask in love. The simple heart that freely asks is in love obtains. A quote from John Greenleaf Whittier. When a request is centered in love, it is much more likely to be fulfilled. Whether our wish is expressed towards the divine or to someone close to us, when we come from the state of simple focus and love, we think more honestly about the nature of the request. How will this desire affect others? Do we really need it? Is it most beneficial? The universe is ready to answer the longing of our hearts that wish to leave the world a better place for themselves and others. To walk away from this is, before making requests in prayers or conversation, I will center my soul in love and focus my mind on simplicity. God bless. Everyone have a wonderful week. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. As my mother would say, talk with love in your voice. So, now we're going to gather our little circle here and sing ourselves out of this celebration. it's my turn.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you all for being here and gracing my life and each other's. And this has been a wonderful experience, and let's carry it on into this next week. And we have potluck next week, so yippee. Amen.
Shelby, do you know what your baby, what you're gonna have yet?
All right.
So what have you been up to lately?
Oh, just living the dream in a way, you know, just kids back to school. So like a lot of